They call it the sea without water, the Sahara. It is beautiful, it is endless, and it is killing me. It has been 3 days since the crash. My tongue feels like leather. The sun is a hammer beating down on my skull. I am Miles, the mail carrier. I have a bag full of love letters, but no one to send my own goodbye to. July 14th, 1937, 10 a.m. The heat is rising. I can see it shimmering off the sand dunes. Heat haze sound, low drone. My biplane, the Spirit of St. Louis, is a wreck. The propeller is twisted like a pretzel. One wing is snapped in half. It provides a tiny sliver of shade. I am huddled underneath it, pressing my back against the hot metal fuselage. Creaking of metal, cooling, heating. I tried the radio again. Static, crackle, silence. "Mayday! Mayday!" I croaked, but the radio is dead. I threw the headset into the sand. Thud. It landed next to a scorpion. 11:30 a.m. I checked my canteen. I shook it. Slosh. Just a few drops left. Maybe a mouthful. I unscrewed the cap. The smell of warm, metallic water wafted out. It made my stomach cramp. I took a tiny sip. I held it in my mouth, letting it soak into my gums before swallowing. Gulp. It was gone too fast. Save it, I scolded myself. That's it for today. 12:45 a.m. I looked at the mailbag. It survived the crash perfectly fine. Hundreds of letters. I pulled one out. To Miss Emily, from John. I tore it open. I know it's a crime, but what does the law mean out here? "My dearest Emily," I read aloud. "I miss the smell of rain in London." I laughed. A dry, hacking sound. "Rain," I whispered. "I bet John doesn't know what thirst is." I crumbled the letter. I felt anger. Why do they get rain and I get this hell? 2 p.m. The sun is at its peak. It feels like my skin is sizzling. I closed my eyes. I started to hear things. Sound of water pouring into a glass. Clear, cold ice water, clinking against the glass. I opened my eyes. Nothing. Just the blinding white sand. A lizard ran across my boot. Scuttle sound. "You're lucky," I told it. "You belong here." 3:30 p.m. I am getting dizzy. The horizon is moving. The dunes are shifting like waves. Is that a lake? I squinted. Yes. Blue, shimmering water just a mile away. Palm trees. "Water!" I gasped. I started to crawl out from the shade. My knees burned on the hot sand. "Wait," a voice inside my head said. "It's a mirage, you fool." But it looks so real, so cool. I reached out my hand. "Please," I begged the sand. "Just let it be real." July 14th, 1937, 4 p.m. I stumbled forward, my boots sinking into the soft sand. Heavy breathing, dragging feet. The blue lake is right there. I can see the ripples. I can hear the gentle lapping of water. Sound of refreshing water. "Just a little further," I rasped. I fell to my knees. The sand is hot enough to cook an egg. I reached out to cup the water in my hands. Scoop. My hands filled with nothing but dry, burning grit. The lake vanished. The palm trees dissolved into heat waves. "No!" I screamed. A dry, pathetic croak. "No! No! No!" I clawed at the sand, digging frantically, hoping to find moisture underneath. But there is only more sand. Endless, mocking sand.
4:30 p.m. I lay there for a while, sobbing without tears. My body has no water left to cry. Then the wind changed. Whoosh! Howling wind picks up. The sky turned a sickly orange color. The sun disappeared behind a wall of dust. I looked up. A mountain of brown cloud is rolling towards me. It stretches from the ground to the heavens. A sandstorm. The devil's breath. Get back to the plane, I told myself. I scrambled up. But which way is the plane? The footprints I made are already gone, erased by the wind. 5 p.m. The storm hit me like a physical blow. Roaring wind, sand hitting clothes like sandpaper. It stung my face, my eyes, my exposed skin. It filled my nose and mouth. I pulled my leather flight jacket over my head. I curled into a ball. The world is gone. There is only the roar and the grit. I can't see my own hand in front of my face. "I'm sorry, Mom," I whispered into the leather. "I'm so sorry." 5:30 p.m. I am buried. The sand is piling up around me. It feels heavy, like a warm blanket made of lead. I tried to move, but I am weak, so weak. I closed my eyes tight. In the darkness, I saw flashes of light. Is it lightning, or is my brain shutting down? I heard a voice. "Miles? Miles, are you there?" It sounded like my flight instructor, but he died in the war. "Captain?" I called out. The wind howled back in response. Eerie wind howl. 6 p.m. The storm is raging, but I feel strangely calm. The sand is protecting me from the sun. I started to hallucinate again. I saw the mailbag. It was floating in the air. The letters were flying out, turning into white birds. "Fly away," I smiled. "Deliver yourselves." One of the birds landed on my shoulder. It looked like a dove. "Peace," it cooed. "Peace." I reached out to touch it, but my hand just grabbed a handful of dust. July 14th, 1937, 8 p.m. The wind has died down. The sandstorm is over. I pushed the heavy leather jacket off my face. Rustle of leather and sand. The silence is sudden and absolute. I looked up. The sky is no longer orange. It is a deep, bruised purple. And it is cold. So incredibly cold. My sweat-soaked clothes are now freezing against my skin. I started to shiver. Teeth chattering sound. "Funny," I whispered, my voice trembling. "Baked in the day, frozen at night. The desert has a twisted sense of humor." 9:30 p.m. The stars are out. Millions of them. They look sharp, like shards of ice scattered on black velvet. I huddled closer to the engine block of the plane, hoping for some residual heat. But the metal is cold as a tombstone. I rubbed my arms vigorously. Sound of rubbing fabric. "Come on, Miles," I told myself. "Keep the blood moving." But my fingers are numb. My toes feel like stones in my boots. I am losing the feeling in my nose. 11 p.m. I saw a light in the distance. Not a star. A fire. A warm, crackling campfire just a few yards away. "Hello?" I called out. I saw figures sitting around it. My squadron mates. They're laughing, drinking hot coffee. "Hey, Miles," one of them waved. "Come over here. We saved a spot for you." I smiled. My cracked lips started to bleed. "I'm coming," I whispered. I tried to stand up, but my legs wouldn't work. I dragged myself across the sand towards the fire. 12 a.m. I reached the fire. I held out my hands to warm them. "That feels good," I sighed. But there is no heat. My hands are just reaching into the empty air. The figures are gone. The fire is gone. It was just the moonlight reflecting off a piece of broken glass from the cockpit. I stared at the glass. It looked like a diamond. I picked it up. It cut my finger. I didn't feel it. I watched a drop of dark blood fall onto the white sand. Red on white, I mumbled, like Christmas. 1:30 a.m. The shivering has stopped. That is bad. I know that is bad. It means my body has given up trying to stay warm. I feel sleepy. The sand doesn't feel hard anymore. It feels like a soft feather bed. I curled up into a ball. Just a quick nap, I thought, just until the sun comes up to warm me again. I closed my eyes. The stars above me are spinning like a propeller.
July 15th, 1937, 5:30 a.m. The sun is coming up. It paints the dunes in pink and gold. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen, and the most terrifying. I stopped shivering. The warmth is soaking into my frozen bones. Sigh of relief. But I know what this means. The hammer is coming back. I tried to swallow, but my throat is glued shut. It feels like I swallowed a handful of razor blades. Water, I croaked, a sound like tearing paper. 6:45 a.m. I crawled back to the mailbag, dragging sound on sand. I dumped everything out, letters, packages, brown paper, and then I saw it. A small glass bottle, a fountain pen refill, blue ink. It looks like water. It sloshes like water. My brain knows it is poison, but my body screams, "Drink!" I uncorked the bottle. Pop! The smell of chemicals hit my nose. I tilted my head back and poured the dark liquid into my mouth. Gagging and coughing sound. It tastes vile, bitter, metallic. I spat it out. Blue spit landed on the golden sand. It looks like the blood of a Smurf. "You idiot," I whispered, wiping my blue-stained mouth. "You desperate idiot." I looked at my hand. It is stained blue. "Well," I laughed weakly, "if I can't drink it, I might as well use it." 8:15 a.m. I dipped my finger into the bottle. I crawled to the fabric wing of the plane. The canvas is white and clean. I started to write. Scritch, scratch, a finger on canvas. I am here. The letters are shaky, giant blue scrawls. Tell Emily. I stopped. What do I tell her? That I died thirsty? That I died afraid? No. I dipped my finger again. The ink is drying fast in the heat. Tell her I flew home. 9:30 a.m. I heard a sound from the sky, screech of a bird. I looked up, shielding my eyes. 3 black shapes are circling above me. "Rescue!" I gasped. "Over here! Over here!" I waved my blue hand. They circled lower. They're not planes. They're vultures. They're waiting. "Not yet!" I shouted at them. "I'm not done yet!" I threw the ink bottle at them. It missed and shattered on a rock, glass breaking. The blue liquid seeped into the thirsty sand and vanished instantly. July 15th, 1937, 11 a.m. The heat is a physical weight now. It presses me into the sand. I closed my eyes. Sputtering sound of an engine trying to start. Wait. I opened my eyes. The propeller. It's moving. Engine turns over. Cough, cough, roar. "It's fixed!" I laughed. "I fixed it!" The sound is deafening. Or is it just the blood rushing in my ears? It doesn't matter. The engine is singing. 11:15 a.m. I dragged myself into the cockpit. The leather seat burns my skin, but I don't care. I put my goggles on. The world turns sepia.
Contact! I shouted at the empty desert. I pushed the throttle forward, sound of engine revving up high. The vibration shakes my bones. It feels like life returning to my body. The sand dunes are blurring past me. Faster, faster. Come on, old girl. I patted the dashboard. Fly! 11:30 a.m. I pulled back on the stick. Whoosh of wind. The bumping stops. I am airborne. I am leaving the sand behind. I am rising above the heat, above the pain, above the vultures. The air up here is cool, crisp. It smells of rain and lilac. I look down. The desert is gone. Below me is green, green fields, a river winding like a silver ribbon, and there, a small house with a red roof. 11:45 a.m. Emily! I waved. She is standing in the garden, looking up. She is waving a white handkerchief. I banked the plane left, sound of wind rushing. The sun is not burning anymore. It is a warm, golden spotlight guiding me home. I am weightless. I am free. I told you I'd make it, I whispered. I leaned back in the seat. My eyes are heavy, so heavy. The engine hum turns into a lullaby. Engine sound fades into a soft, steady heartbeat. Then silence. 12 p.m. The propeller stops spinning. The pilot's head falls forward onto his chest. The hand drops from the stick, stained with blue ink. The wind blows gently over the motionless figure. A single vulture lands on the broken wing. Screech. And then silence. The desert takes back its own. The wreckage of the Spirit was found 3 years later, half buried in the dunes. The pilot was still in the cockpit, a smile on his face. On the fabric of the wing, scrawled in blue ink, were the words, "I flew home. Rest in peace, Miles."